Sattler Files.
Welcome back to the Sattler Files, and this is Law and Order. Inspector Neil Royle is in the studio to talk about all things crimes, misdemeanours, and the silly things that people do.
Things of interest. That catch your attention and you think, what the hell are we coming to? What's going on here?
It's been a big week, I would say, when it comes to police matters.
And it has, and we'll talk about a couple of those things in a minute, but I think probably what saved a lot of the misdemeanour-type outrageous activities that took place during the course of the week, this week, is the fact that it's been blowing a hurricane and pouring rain.
And that kept a few people home, I would hope.
Yeah, but the right time of year is approaching, where people don't want to be home, they want to be out
when
barbecuing.
When the weather starts to warm up.
And keeping their fluids up and all the rest of it.
With the wrong sorts of fluids.
Whatever fluids they choose to have in excess and the rest of it. But looking at let's pick on the Joondalup concert that took place on the weekend at Joondalup Arena.
Have a look at that. Okay, so how much do they pay to get to a concert like that?
I think one of those, it was sold out, I understand, but there's $100 and $120 a ticket. So
it's not a small price.
No, and I don't know, there'd be those out there who can't afford that sort of thing. But it was sold out, I understand. It was at Joondalup Arena. I also understand that police notified the conveners of the concert and said, we have good information that there will be gate crashes here in some numbers prior to the event. So these people that have concerts and the rest of it are required to have security pro rata.
That's what I was going to say. So how many security guards do you need per head of, or per 100 or whatever? How do they work it out? How do they calculate it?
They just worked out on how many they expect to attend and how many per, I don't know how many it is, I think it's 20 or 30 or 100, who knows. But there is a formula.
Ratio.
Yeah, there is a formula for it to do it. So the police told them, because it's sold out, there's still lots and lots of people who want to go and they won't be able to get in, and some will try and get in anyhow.
So how do they keep them out if they haven't paid? How do they try and keep them out anyway?
Well, what they do, they put up security fencing, which is sort of cyclone wire type things on legs with sandbags at the bottom.
Very portable and transportable.
Absolutely, and they're there to put up in a short space of time and to take down in a short space of time, and it's there to keep orderly people in an orderly fashion going into the venue. So what happens then when several hundred, and that's the number I understand, of disorderly people come along who decide, we're going to get in, and they get their slide rules out and go, there's 400 of us and there's 16 of them. We might have them outnumbered like the Zulu Wars at Rorke's Drift. We've got 10,000 of them.
We all remember that scene in Zulu when they looked up and there they were.
Yes, indeedy. And that's probably with the same terror in the eyes of security people when they saw several hundred mostly young, males and females saying, we're coming in, and over the top they go a la Alamo and knock down the fences. Lots of footage on television about young people running towards the camera and so forth and going, yahoo, hooray, etc.
We're in and we didn't pay.
That's right, and security guards like lollyballs down a staircase trying to catch ones going in all directions. There reminded me of people trying to catch rabbits during the Depression.
Yeah.
So they're all over the place. Lots of them went into the wrong venue. A lot of them broke into the wrong premises and were then actually not going to the concert, but were guided by somebody else to go in here. So several score of children, young people rather, went into the wrong venue. When they realised they were in the wrong venue, they couldn't see the concert anyway, and they were actually in something else. They then turned on the person and said, this way, and beat him up and others.
Yep.
So then along come the police. They were called the police. Quick, get the police in here, quickly. So in come the police and so forth. And there's people running hither and yon. 4 people got arrested.
Out of all that?
Out of all that. 4 people got arrested.
Well, so, what sort of a message does that send?
It sends a message that it's a sport.
Yes, it's to come and try your luck, and you'll probably get away with it.
And the reason why I thought it was good to mention that today, because it got a lot of airplay on television, on the news. There will be more to come with other concerts and things, no doubt. More events will take place in the summer months. And then, lo and behold, last night in the southern suburbs, I won't name it, but it's down Rockingham way. So
I thought you weren't going to name it.
I'm not. It's down that way. There was a party.
In a house.
Yeah, in a house.
One of those Facebook parties where they invite the world.
Yep, and about 120 or 150, so they say, the people that complained to the police say, were at this party and got out of control, and they were pushing and shoving and smashing things in the street, etc., that drunken people normally do. Then the police were called. So the police turn up and then they get pelted with bottles. A police car get damaged through someone.
So at this point, did the police come in with their sort of full riot gear, with their shields and all of this sort of stuff? They didn't understand or didn't realise how bad it was? They
will send the locals first.
Yeah.
And they'll have a bit of a look.
A forward scout.
And if they use one of those code words like, ooh-ah, then they'll go and get some riot police. But
that's why you're here, Neil, because you have the inside goods on the police. So ooh-ah is the code word, is it?
Yeah, ooh-ah or bloody hell.
Oh dear.
Yeah, ooh-ah. So anyhow, and this one here, so they pelt the cop cars and someone threw a brick through a window of a police car. Then they threw things in neighbours' houses and smashed bottles and all this sort of stuff. Police come along, in they come. A policeman is bitten by a dog. So then I thought then, now, is this the party goer, gate crashers type dogs that have bitten the police, or is it one of the GP dogs that the police bring with them to some of these things here? Because general purpose police dogs, so there's different types. There's the drug dogs and cadaver dogs and GP dogs. GP dogs are totally indiscriminate. They'll bite anybody.
Okay.
So I've actually been to a pub fight in Northern when I was there sometime, and K9 section turned up, and he bit more coppers than other people in the pub. Which this may be the case that the police dog's bitten this copper. I don't know.
So Rover's done the wrong thing.
If it is, because Rover being in the kennel with no kibble tonight, I'm here to tell you.
I would imagine.
He's bitten the boss. But it could be party. Don't know. It didn't say. But anyhow, 150 people fighting the street, damage to police cars. Neighbours concerned, loud music, smashing, swearing, fighting. Coppers arrest nobody. They go and issue 4 move-on notices. Well, here you go. So you've got these people, these creatures who are playing up on the street. Coppers come along, pick out 4 of the worst, because otherwise they'd all get move-on notices. They pick out the 4 worst ones and say, you and you, move on. And they go, all right then, we'll take our scandalous and outrageous behaviour someplace else. What police? Come on now, let's lock a few up. Let's get the visual impact of someone being put in the back of a police van.
Yes, the paddy wagon.
Exactly. And if the paddy wagon it gets full, get some more. And go through the motions, if you're right. And that, once upon a time we used to do this, and you take these people, and if they were juveniles, even better, because they go to the lockup and they wait till a parent comes and gets them.
And they sober up a bit too.
Yeah, they do indeed. And then the parents say, I thought you had gone to a macrame party.
Weren't you supposed to be staying at Jane's house?
Weren't you at night school? All those sort of things that they do. And the parents got to come and bail them out and so forth, and get them and all the rest of it. I know it's a lot of work for the police, and I know the police are busy and got other things to do. But again, if action is not taken, the message is there yet again. If they think they can get away with this, and they're working on this weight of numbers theory we spoke about a while ago.
Yes.
A van turns up, or 2 vans turn up with 4 cops, and there's 150 of us. We're going to be very, very cheeky and then blame it on alcohol.
Yeah.
And that's what happens. So the silly season is fast approaching. It will happen more and more often. Facebook, of course, as you just touched on a minute ago, is a primary offender for these sorts of things, because everyone says, I only abated 12 and 150 turned up. Well, yeah, good. Well, don't put it on Facebook.
And
anyhow,
don't put the address on Facebook.
Exactly. So one would expect the police, being highly switched on, are doing their forward planning now to get ready to counter these sorts of things for the summer months that are coming up, because lo and behold, it will be warm and it will be party time, and all the beaches and then the New Year's Eves that come along, and the skyworks that come along, and all the rest of the stuff there.
All those traditional hazard warning days.
It's had the excuse to play up those sort of things. Off we all go.
I think you're right about the weather, though. Once the rain stops and it warms up, people will come out of their little cocoons.
I think so.
And things will hot up around town, literally.
And even the more dedicated of us who like an occasional beer or a red wine there and then don't really want to stand outside like Eskimo Nell and have your teeth chattering while you're having it. No, you don't. You're sitting aside by the fire or whatever it is, and you don't go into someone's backyard. So, yes, let's hope the police have got their finger on the pulse. And let's hope that they've taken seriously what's taken, and get rid of your move-on notices for a while and get your move-in notices to move them into the lockup.
Yeah.
And see what happens from there.
Yes.
And that's got taken, well, no, we need to educate. Well, if they're not getting the message and the police turn up, one would expect, in my day when I was younger and not a policeman, and sometimes I
thought you'd always been a policeman. It was like you were born a policeman.
Well, it feels like from time to time. But when I was younger, and sometimes we're indiscreet in certain things we did, if any sign of the police, we were gone. Gone. And,
We were scared of the police.
well, you did, because they'd pull up and you would get grabbed.
Yeah,
And
you
you would
would.
get locked up. And heaven forbid that if your parents found out, the police had to speak to you, let alone lock you up.
Let alone bad-mouthing back.
Oh, good grief.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I got a bit of a flogging from my father at one stage. There was a very well-known policeman in Fremantle called Ron Williams, his nickname Plonky.
Plonky, okay.
Ron Williams, a historic police officer, the late Ron Williams. It had come to pass that when I was younger in Fremantle, he pulled me up on his motorbike one time, and he gave me a bit of a chat because I had my two brothers in the car, and yap, and come and you should know better. Your father should be here. And I said, yeah, okay, Plonky, don't worry about it. He told my father that I called him Plonky.
Oh.
Well, I should have been locked up because Dad didn't like him much at all, and he took out his own justice push.
Justice, yes.
So,
no respect,
and it was
Neil.
quite remarkable. And he used to come when I was a patrolman on a motorcycle, and he was my patrol sergeant. He had a remarkable memory, that man, because he knew about it. He said, "Did your dad give you a hiding that night, did he?" I said, well, actually, he did. Yeah. But so you had the respect.
Well, you
for the
had
police.
that. You had that. You actually had some parental control.
Exactly.
And we were all scared to do the wrong thing. I mean, I'm not saying that I got smacked or anything like that, but
No, but
they meted out their punishment in different ways.
and even so, even though it was the dark ages in those days when I was a teenager, we still knew right from wrong.
Yes.
And you still knew what was acceptable and what wasn't, and what you would do and what you wouldn't do. As a matter of fact, in those days, if you were noisy in your backyard and the next door neighbour said, "Hey, keep it down in there," you shut
You
up.
did. Yes, you did.
Not come over the
there's
fence and bash him.
There are no consequences for
No.
bad behaviour.
No.
And that's the problem.
And that's the message again. If again, there's no action by the police and no enforcement of law and order, two lovely words we use on this program.
Law and order.
If you haven't got there, well, a wise person once said that the only activity without discipline is a riot, and that's true. And so you've got to have some there. So yeah, for those sorts of things. And if let's move on to another lack of discipline, and again, I'll do what I like, and to hell with the consequences. Mm-hmm. The mother, the fitness fanatic mum.
Fanatic mum who got jailed for 3.5 years after her booze-soaked long weekend exploits.
So she wasn't very happy with her ex?
No, well, no one is, but that's beside the point. So she went to the ex's house, scratched his car, then broke in with a brick, and then what did she do? She
set
saw
fire to it.
Well, she saw he had a new couch. She was in dire financial straits, saw his new couch, and that was beyond her. So she tipped methylated spirits over it and set it alight.
And all this while this remarkable mother had her 4-year-old child sitting in the car outside in the driveway.
Yeah. So she.
Wonderful.
Look, that's the trouble. Booze, pills, whatever it is, it can lead you down a really bad path.
Exactly, and don't use that for the excuse for everything. I was drunk at the time and so forth. I'm ashamed to say, I've been inebriated 1 or 2 times.
Oh, I don't believe it.
And once, at a time when I was in the military, the term was legless in Seattle. So,
legless in Seattle.
I always knew what was going on, but you didn't care.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what it is. So I don't remember. Yes, you do. That's all fibs. You just don't care. So she's done this, had the presence of mind. I don't know how booze she was, but she obviously drove there in her car with her kid.
Well, she obviously drove drunk, obviously.
Then used a brick to smash her way into the house, which in the back of your mind you think, this could be a no-no in society doing this, but never mind, I'll do that anyway. And he's got a new couch, he's got a new car as well, or I'll scratch his car, then I'll set fire to the couch, and then no one will blame me because I'm a woman scorned, and as we all know, hell hath no fury.
Absolutely.
So she can...
she's got 3 years to think about it.
Well, she has, and she's a fitness fanatic too. She's really heavy in the gym and does weights and so forth. Well, guess what? Bandy Up's got a gym.
I'm sure they do.
And you can get in there and work out to your heart's content. You might come out after 3 years looking like Johnny Weissmuller or who's the other one?
Arnie Schwarzenegger?
No, is there a girl equivalent to Arnie? I suppose there is.
I'm sure there is. I just can't think of one name.
Well, she will come out in due time. fit enough to hold Arnie and another one out because she'll have plenty of time in the gym there.
And hopefully she's got 3, as the judge said, she's got 3 years to think about it.
Yep.
And think about that. Well, mind you, she probably won't serve the whole 3 years.
No,
but she's got time to reflect on what she's done, move on from the bitterness and get on with her life.
Yep, and I hope her 4-year-old, whoever male or female that it is in good hands.
She's got another one as well. She's got 2 of them.
Oh, God.
She's got 2.
Okay.
Poor little darling.
Mum's a fine role model.
Yeah, well, hopefully they're young enough that this all passes and she gets herself back on track and
let's hope so.
Moves on.
Let's hope so. She might a bitter fitness fanatic she's been called. Got that right.
Well, she is bitter, and so much for the fitness fanatic. Usually that sort of tones people down and calms them. All that exercise, obviously, it just fueled her right up.
Well, actually, sometimes I get, and you've noticed, and you know me quite well. Sometimes I get this uncontrollable urge to do excessive, strong, strenuous workouts, but I generally sit down till the urge goes away.
Yeah, and it usually does.
It does. I feel better afterwards.
Well, so you sit down and watch a video instead.
Yeah, have a vanilla slice or something.
Yeah, we can't have your exercising, Neil. That'd be just too normal.
Exactly right. There's no need for it.
Now, last week when we were talking, we talked about the police seizing mobile phones from drivers, motorists who were using their mobile phone in the car.
Yep.
Now, the police have responded to that suggestion. And what do they think about it? They think it's going to be too hard to do.
The Commissioner said it was be an administrative nightmare.
Why?
Because it's seizing phone. So it all runs on the back of the blitz they had in town there, and getting lots and lots of people on mobile phones, and it went on from there, and they got one lady twice in an hour and a half, 2 times on a mobile phone, and the second time on a mobile phone.
Is that the one that got the 20 demerit points?
Yeah, and no seatbelt as well at the same time. So she's really switched on, and she really, again, the attitude comes in. She's been pinched once, and then an hour later she's grabbed again. No, there's an attitude there where they don't really care. Catch me if you can. So my thoughts on the matter are, and I've spoken on my thoughts, that there was some suggestion that perhaps the fines aren't enough. I totally agree. The fine for not wearing a seatbelt is $500. For using your mobile phone and texting while you're driving, the fine is $250 and 4 points.
Right.
So I'm saying, and I say it's inherently as dangerous as, if not more so, to text on your mobile. It's more dangerous than not wearing your seatbelt.
Oh, of course.
If you have a prank not wearing your seatbelt, you get hurt. That's only you.
Yes.
If you're on your mobile phone yapping away and running, you can kill a whole family.
Or you can cross over
lanes.
You could do a lot of things.
You can kill lots and injure lots.
Well, I don't understand how people would even contemplate texting while they're on the phone.
Oh, plenty of them do.
I know they do.
Any set of traffic lights, just pull up there and see whether if they're navel gazing, they've got a phone in their lap and they're texting.
Yes.
I can actually recall one time in Fremantle, and I'll get back to your initial question in a minute about why the Commission doesn't like it. I was in a marked police car in Fremantle and I pulled up the lights, and the girl beside me in a car was texting. So I rolled the window down and said, "Oi." She turned her back on me in the seat, faced the other way and continued on. That's how little, well, it was one of the most expensive phone calls she's had, that girl, but because it cost her some money. But I just actually turned her back on me and kept doing it. So I thought, this must be really, really important. It must be a pizza with a lot of something she's ordering or something or other. Anyhow, so I suggest that the fine should be $500 and 5 points.
Yeah.
And take the phone off them for 7 days.
Yeah.
And that's...
So why? It's not that hard to confiscate a phone, is it?
Well,
you give them an invoice and see you later.
Well, they do it all the time. So
a receipt or whatever for property?
Property receipt. So you pull them up, you say you talk on your phone, and it helps too if the person decides to plead not guilty to it. You've got the phone, then you can download the fact that they were on the phone, so you have it as well. So you seize the phone, say, I've got this for 7 days. Here's a property receipt. Hand that to them and say, nominate what police station you want to pick it up from. In 7 days' time, go there, present that, and you can have it.
Yeah.
That's an administrative nightmare. When it comes to people driving cars in a hoon capacity,
they can seize the car now.
Well, yeah. And the theory behind it is if the mechanism to perform this hoon act is the car, remove that from them. If the mechanism for people texting while driving and on their phones is a mobile phone, take that off them too. If it's an administrative nightmare, well, guess what? Charge a storage fee then. I don't care. They charge a storage fee on cars. So if your car gets seized for 28 days, it's not just parked up for free. You'll get a bill between $800 and $900 for that 28 days worth, and the towage Then the reckless driving charge, and boom, it costs a quid to whom?
I was just going to
It costs
say
a quid.
that is a lot of money.
Exactly. So
It
if
all
they're
adds
serious
up.
about the phone bit, one would expect if they're serious about it and start seizing a few, and I won't have the argument about it could be their business phone and it could be that,
They need it because they've got to stay in contact with their kids. Or,
if it was your business phone, wouldn't it be in hands-free capacity so you can take calls where you
Yes.
no argument? Conversely, if the police department or the government want to encourage people to use hands-free kits, subsidise the purchase of them then, whatever it is. In years gone by when there was a big purge on people not wearing bicycle helmets when riding bicycles, they get a ticket for not wearing the bicycle helmet, and guess what? The cops would say, if you go and buy a helmet within 10 days or 14 days and produce that receipt to the police department, we'll give you back your fine from the helmet. But, that's a pretty good idea.
It's a good incentive.
Yeah, so
it's some incentive.
If it's the administrative nightmare of issuing a receipt for a telephone and giving it to somebody, well, every time the cops go to a prang and there's property involved, they could end up with a room full of property, which they must take custody of and look after for the incapacitated person to claim later on. So it's a nothingness argument. If you're serious about it, do something about it. And I believe the minister's saying that the fines are enough as a deterrent. They're on the rise. The use of phones is on the rise.
I was going to say, if people aren't taking any notice of it, the fines aren't an disincentive at all.
No. And if it's, I need my phone to pick my children up, well, don't talk on it when you're driving your car.
Yeah.
It's not rocket science, is it?
No, it's not.
You can grasp it. And as I said, if a chimpanzee was being trained by you and got it wrong and you hit him on the head with a lump of wood, you only hit him once, he'd get the message, but people don't, and they don't. So it's got to be a substantial lump of wood. And if you think you're looking down the barrel of 505 points and give us your phone, you might think twice about using it.
Yeah. Well, I would.
Absolutely.
I mean, I don't use it. I'm petrified.
Yeah, and there's places where you can actually stop.
The trick is you turn the volume off so that you're not distracted by the pings of Facebook messages or text messages, and you just go from point A to point B. When you get to point B, step out of your car and check your messages, because if you're sitting in your car, so what's the story? If you're sitting in your car and the ignition is off, are you allowed to check your messages?
The offences are holding the phone in your hand. So it can be in a cradle, so you can push buttons and make it go.
Right.
But you must, if you want to use your phone, you can do so once you're lawfully parked.
So if you're legally parked, the ignition is off.
Doesn't matter. It can be running.
It can be running,
Yeah,
but if you're in a so if you're in a parking spot, okay,
you're in a side street or in a parking bay or a shopping centre car park,
right?
Fine. Doesn't mean to say that you can, when you get to the traffic lights and you're stopped, not parked at the traffic light, you can't use it then. Of course it is. Right. And those that I've seen them time again that pull up on the emergency lane on the freeway to take calls and so forth. And well, in the past we pull up alongside and say, "What is your emergency?" "Well, I'm just giving the missus a ring to pick up the kids from school." No.
Not quite an emergency.
No, and that dumb as that. So, yes, the offence is when the phone is actually in your mitt, and if you're using it whilst your car is not lawfully parked.
Right. Okay.
There you go.
Fine.
So we'll see what happens from there. Nothing will happen, I suppose. They just carry on there, and people get their fines and their tickets, and those who get pinched won't like it.
It'd be interesting to know the statistics on how many accidents and mishaps are actually caused by inattention due to the presence of a mobile phone.
Exactly. And coroners in the past were part of the reason why that the offence and the penalty became there for using the phone when you're driving, because it became apparent that people were having pranks while they're doing and distracted by using their phones and so forth. Hence,
it's pretty easy for the police to check the phone and they can see what time
Absolutely.
the last message went or the second last message, whatever.
I actually I pull up a person who was using their phone and they saw me and they dropped it on the floor. And I said, "Well, why are you using your phone while you're driving?" "No, I'm not. I haven't got it." And I hear this, hello, are you there? Hello, on the floor. The person had dropped it on the floor when the cops come.
Gotcha.
So it was good evidence. It's wonderful and humorous.
And humorous. All right, now Howard wanted us to mention this, but I'm not sure whether. I mean, the guy's just very unlucky. The tradie.
Oh yeah.
The tradie and the spider bite.
Yeah, what I'll do, because it's probably better that you discuss this, because
I don't know if I really want to.
I don't know where to start on this.
No,
but
I don't know.
This fella's been dubbed the the unluckiest tradie in the world.
Well, he's had 2 redback spider bites on his old fella, long, whatever you want to call it.
That'd be the medical term. Yes.
That'll do us.
So he's a 20-year-old tradie, and he's an apprentice, and he's been bitten before on his appendage.
In the Portaloo on site.
And it was very painful, he says, and he had to get some treatment and so forth, and we won't go into jokes about swelling going down and all the rest of it.
No.
And then later on, some months later, he's got a second time.
Yep.
And the question has been asked, well, do you check the seat and so forth before especially after the last time? So he gets on to Kyle and Jackie O's program.
Oh, and as you do.
Yeah,
yes, as you do.
And they're all there, because that Kyle, his bit is as much the tactics as a Sherman tank. And he says his recommendation is just on the ground in future.
I know.
That's brilliant,
What
isn't
a
it?
class act.
Yeah, it is too. Brilliant.
What a class act.
Wonderful. How does it get the light of day, those things?
Moving along, I think we'll leave that one. We'll leave that one alone.
It's world news.
Anything else you want to talk about today?
Well, I don't think so.
Do you think we've covered it all? We've done concerts, we've done illegal parties, we've touched on a lot of stuff today.
Yeah, it's not really here to bash up the police, but there are some times that they need a timely reminder that the population and the public of the community are looking to them to do certain things to show that it is in fact law enforcement and not just law toleration.
Yeah. Very wise words.
We think so.
Very wise words. Inspector Neil Royle, you've been listening to Law and Order on the Sattler Files. Back shortly with more.
This is Sattler Files.